A Grand Rapids man will spend over 2 decades in prison for killing his wife in 2023. It happened the day after Alicia Lofton served Marcus Loftton divorce papers, just 6 months after they were married.
The day that I found out she was gone, I felt like my legs collapsed.
Several family members of Alicia addressed Lofton in court, saying they disapproved of him and knew he wasn't right for her. Alicia's father, Arthur Joseph, had strong words for Lofton.
I just want the court to know that this guy is a piece of garbage.
Alicia Danielle Lofton had always believed in love, in the promise of forever with the man she thought she knew better than anyone. She had built a life with Marcus Loftton, married him, had children with him, and trusted him. But what Alicia never saw coming was the storm brewing quietly in the shadows of their seemingly perfect life. One night everything would change. A secret so devastating, so dark, would surface, and with it came a tragedy no one could have imagined. Alicia's world and her future was ripped away by the very person she trusted the most. What happened in those final moments, the truth behind the deadly confrontation. This is the story of betrayal, broken trust, and the unforgivable act that ended it all. Marcus Loftton would claim it was an accident, but the truth? It's far more chilling than anyone could have predicted. If you think you know where this is going, think again. But before we unravel the heartbreaking details of Alicia's tragic story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss a moment of this chilling tale. Alicia Danielle Lofton had always been the kind of woman who believed in the promise of forever. She was a mother, a wife, and someone who valued family above all else. Her life from the outside seemed like a dream. She had a loving husband in Marcus, and together they built a family. Their home was filled with the laughter of their children and the warmth of their shared dreams. On the surface, Alicia had everything she could want. 2 beautiful children, a husband who promised to be there through thick and thin, and a future that seemed full of endless possibilities. But like many who find themselves caught in the web of love, Alicia couldn't see the cracks beginning to form beneath the surface. Marcus, charming and affectionate on the outside, had a side to him that Alicia had yet to uncover. The foundation of their marriage, which appeared solid, began to show signs of strain. Alicia, like many women, overlooked the subtle warning signs, the odd behaviors, the distant looks, the late nights that became more frequent. Her life, so carefully built with Marcus, had started to feel off balance. But how could she have known that the life she thought she had was a lie? That the man she trusted with her heart had secrets buried so deep, it would change everything? Her story wasn't one of dramatic warning signs or sudden chaos. It was one of quiet, insidious unraveling, hidden behind the veil of what she believed to be love. Alicia's world, once full of certainty, began to crumble the day she stumbled upon something she wasn't meant to see. It was a moment that no one could prepare for, the kind of moment that shifts everything, leaving no room for denial. Alicia was just doing what she always did, going through the motions of daily life, trying to make sure everything ran smoothly. But then her curiosity led her down a path she never expected. It was an innocuous-looking message. But what she found when she dug deeper sent a cold shiver down her spine. Marcus, the man she loved and trusted, had been hiding something from her. Something so dark, it shattered the very foundation of their marriage. Alicia discovered that Marcus had been secretly involved with other men, living a life she never knew existed. The realization hit her like a punch to the gut. The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was emotional. Her husband, the man who had promised to stand by her forever, had been keeping secrets that had destroyed her world from the inside. She could hardly believe what she was seeing. How could this be happening? How could the person who had shared her life, who had fathered her children, have been leading such a double life? Alicia's heart raced as she tried to make sense of it all. She confronted Marcus, her voice trembling with disbelief and hurt. What followed was a cascade of emotions, anger, confusion, fear, all crashing together in a moment of raw confrontation. but nothing could prepare her for the truth of what would come next. You won't believe what happened when Alicia confronted Marcus. But you need to hear it. Make sure to subscribe to Silent Crimes HQ now. Don't miss the shocking twist that's about to unfold. The moment Alicia confronted Marcus, everything changed. What had been a quiet storm simmering beneath the surface of their marriage exploded in a fury of accusations, confusion, and raw emotion. Alicia stood before him, her hands shaking as she demanded the truth. What was the secret that had been tearing at the very fabric of their lives? Her voice cracked as she questioned him, unable to comprehend the depth of the betrayal she had just uncovered. Marcus, caught off guard by the fury and heartbreak in her eyes, tried to defend himself. His explanations were vague, his words rushed, but none of it made sense to Alicia. How could he betray her like this? How could he destroy everything they had built with such a careless disregard? As the confrontation escalated, the room grew tense. Alicia's pain turned to anger, and her frustration turned into a desperate need for answers. Her husband, the man who had promised her the world, was a stranger now. His secret life, his lies, and his deception made him unrecognizable. In the heat of their argument, the words exchanged became sharper, more venomous. Alicia demanded to know the truth, demanded that he explain himself, but Marcus couldn't, or wouldn't, offer her the answers she desperately needed. In that moment, the anger that had built up inside him finally broke free. The situation escalated from words to violence in the blink of an eye. It happened so quickly. There was no time for reason, no time for negotiation. In a fit of rage, Marcus pulled the trigger. Alicia, 5 months pregnant with their child, collapsed to the floor, her life stolen in an instant by the man who was supposed to protect her. The silence that followed was deafening. The life Alicia had once known was gone, and in its place, only chaos and heartbreak remained. The news of Alicia's death hit like a freight train. Family and friends who had once seen her as the heart of her home were left reeling, unable to comprehend how her life had been taken so violently. Alicia's mother, devastated by the loss of her daughter, could hardly believe that the man she had trusted as a son-in-law was the one responsible for ending her life. The pain was unbearable. Alicia's children, too young to fully understand, would grow up without their mother, forever haunted by the shadow of their father's actions. The absence of her warmth, her laughter, and her love was felt not just by her immediate family, but by anyone who had known her. Alicia had been a bright light in their lives, and now that light was gone. As the investigation unfolded, the truth began to come to light. Alicia's friends and family were left to piece together the moments leading up to her death. What had seemed like a normal marriage, a family built on shared dreams, was now revealed to be built on lies. And those lies, along with Marcus's betrayal, had torn everything apart in an instant. The man who had been her protector, the father of her children, had become the monster who had ripped her away from everyone who loved her. The pain of his actions went far beyond the loss of Alicia. It reverberated through the lives of her children, her family, and anyone who had ever known her. As Marcus faced arrest and charges for murder, the haunting question remained: how could he have done it? The damage was done, but no sentence would bring Alicia back. The broken pieces of their family were scattered, and healing would be a long and painful road, one that no amount of justice could ever fully mend. What happens next might shock you as the investigation intensifies and the truth starts to emerge. But the pain of this family will linger forever. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't wait any longer. Subscribe to Silent Crimes HQ now, and follow us as we uncover every detail of this devastating story. The courtroom was filled with a heavy silence as Marcus Loftton stood trial for the murder of his wife, Alicia Danielle Lofton. It wasn't just a battle for legal justice. It was a fight for the truth to be heard, for Alicia's voice to echo even in death. The family who had lost so much, the children who would never see their mother again, and the friends who were left broken all sat, hoping for a sense of closure, though they knew it would never truly be enough. The defense, led by Marcus's attorneys, tried to present a narrative of a tragic accident, a moment of heat and rage gone wrong. Marcus claimed that it wasn't intentional, that he never meant to harm Alicia, but the details of the case painted a different picture. His actions were deliberate, his betrayal calculated. The more the prosecution unraveled the events leading up to that night, the clearer it became. Alicia's murder wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment crime. It was the culmination of years of lies, secrets, and betrayal. The evidence was damning. Alicia had been shot in cold blood. An innocent woman, 5 months pregnant, taken from this world by the very man she had trusted most. Witnesses recalled Marcus's behavior before the crime, his temper, and his growing emotional distance from Alicia. It became evident that the accident he claimed was nothing more than a lie to cover up his own guilt. As the trial proceeded, emotions ran high. Alicia's family sat at the edge of their seats, hoping for justice but knowing that no verdict could ever undo the pain of losing her. The prosecution laid out the harsh truth. Marcus Loftton, in a fit of rage and betrayal, had murdered the woman who loved him. When the jury retired to deliberate, the room was thick with anticipation. Would the justice system give Alicia the justice she deserved? Could her family find even a small shred of closure from this heartbreaking ordeal? The answer would soon come, loud, clear, and final. As the courtroom doors closed and the verdict was read, Alicia Danielle Lofton's story didn't end with a sentence. It carried on in the hearts of the people who loved her. The family who had been shattered by the brutality of her death found themselves not just grieving the loss, but honoring the woman they knew her to be. The woman who had been a mother, a daughter, a sister, and a friend. Her children, left too young to fully understand the complexities of her life and the way she was taken from them, would grow up with the absence of their mother's love but would carry her spirit in the way they lived. The tragedy of their mother's untimely death would forever mark their lives, but they would also inherit the strength that Alicia had shown every day. Her dedication to family, her unshakable love for her children, and the resilience she had always carried. Her family, especially her mother, became the living testament to her legacy. Alicia's mother, who had lost her daughter in the most unimaginable way, vowed to ensure that Alicia would never be forgotten. She carried her daughter's memory with every step, holding on to the moments that were stolen from her too soon. The community too mourned the loss of Alicia. Her absence left a hole not just in her family, but in the hearts of all who knew her. Her story became one of remembrance. A story of a woman who deserved to live her life in peace but was tragically taken away by the very man she had loved and trusted. But Alicia's legacy would not be defined by the tragedy of her death. Instead, it would be the love she gave, the laughter she shared, and the bond she built with those closest to her that would remain. In the end, Marcus Loftton was behind bars, his life irrevocably changed by the choice he had made. But no matter the time, no matter the punishment, it could never bring Alicia back. The legacy she left behind would live on in her children, in her family, and in the hearts of all who remembered her for the woman she truly was. Her memory would be her final gift. A gift of love, a reminder of the beauty of life, and the profound impact of a woman who had so much more to give. Alicia's story is far from over, and the legacy she left behind continues to inspire. If you haven't subscribed yet, join us now and stay connected for more stories of lives cut short, legacies remembered, and justice sought. This is Silent Crimes HQ, where the stories of those who can no longer speak for themselves will always be heard.